Yo, at CentralParkHipHop.com. Huh. Kick it.
Greetings. Peace, everybody. Welcome to the Art of Hip Hop podcast. And this is a podcast. My name is Derek, and today I am joined by Jets the Joker.
What's going on? Peace and blessings, y'all.
Peace. DJ Grimlock.
Hi.
DJ Wislam.
Adnan.
Hey. So today, I'm so grateful that you two joined us today for today's discussion. This episode, we're going to be talking about the hip hop DJ. And both of you two are DJs. Jax, I'm not exactly sure. I know you had a alter ego, a DJ alter ego. Do you ever get down on tables?
So I tried to. It's just a practice. I'm not a pro like y'all, but I'm an MC. That's my position. But I dwell into it because it's still hip hop, and I love trying it out. I love making people react to whatever I play. You know, I love having that ear. So it's something I look into. But that's not my main focus, no.
Right. So that's why I went and I asked these two to join us today, because these two actually do get down. Now, Grimlock, I've known you more as a producer, but you do get down on the table. DJ Wislam, I know you get down on tables, but I've also heard you produce some tracks. Is that correct? Cool. All right. So today's episode, this is what we're going to do. We're going to cover this. I'm going to give a brief opening statement talking about the history of the hip hop DJ. After that, going to have open comments. Love to get you guys' thoughts, comments on what I've had to say. Then we've got questions for you two. Me and Jets, we've got questions for you two as DJs. We're going to step back, just hit you guys with some questions on how this whole thing works. After that, I'm going to ask each of you two to drop some gems on us, give us some pro tips, some insight, a little bit of knowledge on the hip hop DJ. And then after that, we're going to do a You Should Know, and then we're going to get out of here. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Opening statement. Let's get to it. Unlike most things in hip hop history, this topic that we're talking about today, this topic has a clear-cut beginning. Grandmaster Flash, without a doubt, is the prototype for today's hip hop DJ.
Yes.
Simply put, right around 1977, 78. I know I just said we got a clear-cut start date, but close. 77, 78, Joseph Sadler. From where else, Jax?
Bronx, New York, baby.
Yeah, you go to South
he was
Bronx.
From Patterson Projects, I think.
Nice. He converted the turntable into a musical instrument by pioneering DJ Cuddy. Now, I got two DJs here with me, so feel free to correct me when we get to the open comments, but cutting is a DJ term for using the crossfader to switch the sound on and off. It's not necessarily beat matching. It's more of a harsh, sharp, quick jump from one track to the next. At least that's the way I've understood.
Yeah.
The Flash, he didn't just fade smoothly in and out of songs. Even though he did use the headphones to cue up and beat match and all that stuff, he trademarked the fast cut, quick mix technique where he quickly and repeatedly switched between records, beat matched or not. Now, today, every genre DJ uses this technique, but Flash truly created it.
It's so crazy because... Go ahead.
No, what's up? What's the real question?
I was saying it's so crazy. I was watching a Drink Champs episode because Flash was making his rounds during the 50th anniversary. And I guess it was to actually give the actual history. He said he's been around since before Herc, but he was just in his room coming up with the quick mix theory.
See, as you get older, your memory gets a little foggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not around before Herc.
That's what he said. Not. It's so crazy. They're having a whole debate of who really started it. I just seen on Drink Champs. It's fun. It's crazy.
Okay, well.
But they say that Herc was the one who started that party as a DJ, but the one who did the quick mix theory, that was definitely him, but he was working on that.
Was him. That's him. And that's what we're talking about. Yeah. And that's what we're talking about today, the quick mix technique. For Herc is not truly Herc's not a very good DJ, to be honest with you. But that's a whole nother topic.
He's a selector, as they would say in Jamaica.
He came up with the break beat, but you got me off topic, Jax. Let me get back on it.
I'm sorry about that, man.
Let me get back to it. So today, every genre DJ uses that technique, but Flash truly created it. The real question is, why did he do it? And in his own words, he said, quote, I figured if I was playing the hardest, best part of these different genres of music, I would have people dancing on the ceiling. Jax, you weren't here for our discussion about performance enhancers, but that's basically what he's doing. He's just trying to distinguish himself, enhance his performances, to enliven the party, to make the party pop, to make it jump, That's the true motivation behind almost all of these creative breakthroughs in hip hop, to get the party going. And that is truly the art of hip hop DJ, converting the turntables into a party rocking musical instrument and not simply a mechanical device that plays music. Now, here is the truly, truly ironic part about Flash's bio. Flash, Grandmaster Flash himself, he dominated the early hip hop scene. I mean, like, he was the biggest name star. He was I don't know who the biggest hip hop star today is, but that was Flash at that time. He dominated the hip hop scene. All DJs dominated the hip hop scene back then. They got top billing. It used to be Eric B and Rakim. Eric B is the DJ. It was Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Pete Rock was the DJ. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. DJ Jazzy Jeff got top billing. Their second album was even titled, He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper.
I'm the rapper.
Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. See, the DJ got top billing. And they got top billing because they ran the parties. They controlled the mics, they controlled the tracks. An MC couldn't get on, dancers couldn't dance. DJs ran hip hop in the beginning.
Yeah.
But in July of 1982, arguably the most influential song in all music history, if you ask me, was released. And that's The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. The funny thing about it is Flash himself, he had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with this track. He didn't want to do it. He didn't help with the production. He didn't perform on it. He didn't rhyme on it. He did nothing on it. He did not want to do this track. And the irony is that track is responsible for moving the DJ to the front of hip hop, because the lyrics, especially the last verse by Grandmaster Melly Mel, it truly turned hip hop into an art, and it made people say, "Oh, you have something to say now.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you seriously. This is a real art form that we need to pay attention to." And that moved the DJ to the background. And that was the end of Flash's reign. It was the end of the DJ's reign. Hip hop, the MC moved to the front of hip hop and has been at the front of hip hop ever since, because of that song that is in the Music Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. He had nothing to do with it. So anyway, that's my opening statement.
To them too.
Yeah, that's my opening statement. I'm going to step back. I'd love to get your guys' comments on it. Jax, I'm going to come to you last, because being from the Bronx, being from the BX, not the BK, the BX, I want to try to find out how Flash is. I'm going to ask you how Flash is perceived today in his hometown. But I'm going to start with you, DJ Grimlock. What do you think about my opening statement and the history of the hip hop scene?
So I figured if I was playing the hardest, best part of these different genres of music, I would have people on the ceiling. I feel like that speaks to my inspiration really heavy, because there would be these songs that would be like super mid, but then there would be the bridge part, and there would be that like 2 seconds of gold. And that would be the reason for me listening to those songs. And there came a point where I was like, this is too much. I can't listen 3 minutes of just mediocre nonsense just for 2 seconds of glory. So I just started to stitch those things together. And regardless of whether it was on vinyl or a computer, that's just how it got my start. And so I really relate with Grandmaster Flash in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that connected with me most. When you talk about cutting,
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about technology later, but I'll just touch on it now. The things that people were doing before vinyls was they were trying to cut together magnetic tapes. And so with the technology of vinyls, how you could just drop a needle and have the sound start at speed, that changed the game entirely. And I feel like that's what really opened up for people to be so skilled, for people to have so many techniques.
Gotcha. See, that's the kind of insight that I have nothing to offer. I can't offer any insight into that technical aspect. So I appreciate you bringing that to the table. DJ Wislam, how about you? Your thoughts on the opening statement?
It's like somewhat accurate because as far as through the 80s, more DJs really became more popular, especially by the time, 88, 89, when, low profile DJ Aladdin, came out and you had, Cash Money, you had all these cats that were really doing a thing by the late 80s is really where, to me, turntablism really just was born when you start seeing these DMC contests and DJ Cheese and all these guys. So I feel
Clean
like,
cut. I know you want a slice. Scratch is so nice. Got to hear it twice.
right, yeah.
My bad. Sorry.
It's like I feel like the MC didn't really like overshadow the DJ until maybe like the late 90s, early 2000s, from my personal experience and growth in the culture. So
I have a question. Do you give that exception to people like Gangstar, who's been around, and it was like the DJ producing the rapper, and they've been doing it till like 99, 04 almost.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's like a laundry list of DJs that have influenced me, and definitely Gangstar with Primo. He's definitely one of the main ones that the first time hearing him scratch, I was like, just what the hell is he doing, and how can I copy that? Like,
That's amazing. Yeah.
so,
I never hear this from a DJ because it's like I look up to y'all DJs as well. So it's crazy to hear y'all. Primo was like, whoa, I got a scratch like that. That's crazy.
oh, there's yeah, I got endless endless stories like that. So
Dope. We going to
I have your comment made me remember that I forgot to cover our bios during the introduction. So let me quickly double back and do that. If you wouldn't mind, I'll start with you, Wislam, because this is your segment. If you wouldn't mind just giving us a brief bio on your history with where you come from, when you start, who's some of your influences, things like that.
oh yeah, so I'm a native of Denver, been, born and raised, grew up in the Parkville neighborhood, you know. So like when I got into hip hop, it's because like I'm in my old man era now. Believe it or not, I just turned 50 this year. So
God
it's
bless.
You still,
I
you're
literally,
still a youngster. I got you.
one of
I'm still.
so
You ain't get AARP benefits yet. You good?
yeah, and believe me, I'm taking full advantage of that. I'm putting my equipment and all that. But I'm with me being 50 now, it's like when Rappers Delight, Sugar Hill Gang first came out in 1979, I was literally 5 years old. So I remember seeing that on TV. And just that alone, changed my life forever. And then when UTFO came out, and I seen the
Peter Kango Kid.
yeah, and I seen, the leader
And educated
and all
rapper.
that. And yep. And then when I was like around what, like 84, 85, when I really
84.
got familiar
84.
with them. And when I saw the video and saw Mixmaster Ice in that ninja suit behind the turntables, I was like, I don't know what he is or what he's supposed to be. I want to be that. And then that really is what did it, for me. So between him and like around the late 80s or so is when, Jazzy Jeff, of course, was a big influence. And the thing for me is that when it came to DJs, there were DJs from like all over the country that influenced me. Like some people would, be from Denver and they try to, have an accent like they're from New York or from Jersey or trying to, fool people and have them thinking like, well, damn, this everything this person is about is all, the East Coast. But for me, I was influenced by everybody. So if it was DJ Aladdin from, the West Coast, if it was Terminator X, it's a laundry dog. DJ Sugar Shaft from X Clan. It was like,
Right.
DJ Premier. It was so many people that had influenced me, especially through the 80s. But by the time the early 90s, mid 90s came around, it was more of the DJs who became producers that influenced me more. That's what made me want to go just from, just a DJ aspect into actually creating my own music, not just playing other people's music, but to actually see like, wait, let me see if I can do that. Let me see if I can make a South Bronx type of song. Let me see if I can make a Rapper's Delight type of song or something. Of course, a lot of us, all of 70s babies, we were heavily influenced by, P-Funk and, rock, jazz and all of that. So that's what heavily comes out in what I create because I'm, multidimensional. I love all kind of different genres. And to me, that's what makes a DJ really a DJ to me, like not somebody who's one dimensional. And even in the hip hop area, where some people be like, "Well, I only play East Coast hip hop. I don't fuck with West Coast. I don't do trap music or nothing. I'm just boom bap and that's it." And I'm like, that's not a DJ, because you look at somebody like Jazzy Jeff that even today, man, is probably what a little bit older than me, mid 50s or something like that. And this man's still playing, Michael Jackson
Yeah.
from when he first went solo in the 70s and everything
We're
like
going
that.
to talk about the distinction. You said several things in there that I got to get. First of all, woo-ha! That was Mixmaster Ice Cream Puff. I had to get that one in from that the real Roxanne Shante disc.
Right.
Hey,
Okay.
hey,
But I saw UT.
Rest in peace to Kango Kid. That's one of my people's family
Yeah,
and
rest
shit
in
like
peace to
that, for
Kango.
real.
I saw UTFO live. They're one of my favorite groups of all time. Mixmaster Ice is fantastic. You mentioned so many DJs in there, couple that we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Jam Master Jay, Cut Creator.
Yeah, definitely.
And then when you talk about the West Coast, we gave props to Uncle Jam's Army in a previous episode and just how influential and how big of an impact they had on hip hop. So you covered, like, clearly, the history and the genres and things like that. We're going to come back to a distinction between a producer, a DJ, and a hip hop DJ at some point. But I need to go to Grim. Grimlock, your background.
I was born in Death Valley, California. I was raised in North Carolina, and now I'm here in Colorado, so I don't really have strong roots. But with music, my influences are KRS-One, Herbie Hancock, and Rat a Tat.
Rocket.
Yep, Rocket.
That's dope.
Before
He
I
said
knew
the
about-
teacher first, man. That's dope.
Before Derek was teaching me about history, I thought I could have sworn that Herbie Hancock was the first to scratch a record. But yeah, I like those people because, well, Herbie Hancock, musically, he was good at keyboards before he started scratching, and so he knew musicality, music theory that he brought to the table. KRS-One, he knows how to tell a story lyrically, and then Rat-a-Tat is not old school at all, but I like them because they go back to that church, really hallelujah with music, no words kind of stuff.
Nice.
And I like making hip hop because really it's just hanging out plus some extra stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And I'll tell you, man, ever since I've known you for a long time, almost 10 years now, I think. And
Wow.
one of the things that I've always admired about your skill set is your music theory that you bring to whatever you're producing. It's top shelf. It really is. I mean, the way that you can compose music and you have a natural hip hop instinct, I think, like you got hip hop bones. And it's a great combination, man. I just think you're an amazing producer.
Thank you, sir.
Jex,
Yes, sir.
going back to Grandmaster Flash, what's his rep like back in the hood today?
Well, with I want to put this out with the youngins, the youngins on their own zone and time and who's the best and whatever. He's a legend in general. He is somebody who can walk through Harlem and the Bronx and be okay. People, if they recognize him, they're going to know, oh shit, that's the man who started hip hop. So he has the same recognition as
Her and
a Marley
Bambaataa.
Marley having QB.
Yeah. Okay.
Put it that way. Or even let's put it with a Denver person, the people tag team. You know what I mean? We know, okay, yeah, they made it. They something. They pillars in this town. So yeah, that's how people know Flash, of course.
Dope. So we're gonna move over into our questions segment. And Jeff, if you would help me out with this.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna ask What were some of the main challenges y'all had coming up as a DJ? And we'll start with Wislam, DJ Wislam.
Yeah, for me, the biggest challenge was like I knew I was learning what a DJ was as far as, what kind of equipment that you needed and things like that. But at first I didn't know where to even get it from. So the biggest challenge for me was just learning like what a music store even was. And thinking like, well, I don't think I need to go to a music store because I need turntables. So like just getting the education itself and then actually going to a place like Guitar Center and you see guitars on one side of the room, but you see turntables on the other side of the room. And like, learning about like where can I get this stuff from so I can try to be, Mixmaster Ice of Denver or whatever. And that
Right.
was like finding out about where to get it. But then, of course, I was too young, didn't have, a job or nothing. So like, of course, I was like, well, how am I going to get this stuff? And, thankfully my mom, rest in peace, she was the one believed in me to be like, well, this is what makes you happy and this is what you want to do, to tell me how much it is and we'll try to figure something out. So that's what was the two key things that helped me kind of overcome,
So
That's dope.
quick follow-up on that is back when you was getting started relative to today, how crazy is the price difference?
it is definitely crazy because even at the time in like the late 80s, early 90s, like the pricing of the equipment, was high then. And it's like even crazier now just with the things that are out there that you can get and they can take it to the next level. But it's just so many different like demographics of people that some can afford it and some is like, well, this is just too expensive. I'm just not even gonna bother trying to, pursue it.
Graham, when you were starting out, how much, if I was starting out today, what kind of budget would I need to get started? 1,000, 2,000, 5,000? Might I have to go stick somebody up? What I got to do?
That's a good
I
one.
feel like the answer is a tiny bit more complicated than that, and it kind of piggybacks off of what DJ Wislam was saying. So like back in the day when you had to cobble together a custom setup that no one had seen before because you're like just being an electric engineer in your living room trying to put these things together, trying to make effects, trying to make sure that your gain staging is right when there's no manuals for it. It was expensive then. And then inflation, but then also with the democratization of DJing in the sense that you can get a plastic controller that big for your iPhone.
Yeah.
It really depends on what you want to do with it. And so I want to highlight the part of the question and how has the challenges changed over time? Kind of like DJ Wislam was saying earlier, it was all about like, there's no education, there's no template for it. Whereas now it's too easy. It's too cookie cutter. No one's adding to the game. They're just trying to like live action role play by doing this.
But
Cool.
you know what's crazy? Not to cut you off, Derek, but a lot of these young cats, there's a couple of them like shout out DJ NY. He knows how to quick mix. There's a lot of people who DJ who just play the song. You know what I mean? So it's cookie cutter, but they lost a lot of the bringing the crates with you. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they lost that. There's something that's lost.
And we're gonna touch on that here in a second too. My question for both of you is, in my head, and please correct me if I'm wrong. There's a difference between a DJ or between a producer, a DJ, and a hip hop DJ. And here's my distinction. And then I'd like to start with you, Graham, for correction. A producer is primarily concerned with putting together a song. A DJ is primarily concerned with putting together a set list to rock a party. And a hip hop DJ, if he's a performer, he might be more in the realm of a Jam Master Jay, of a Mixmaster Ice, someone who has to manipulate the tables in front of a crowd or in a studio, this, that, and the third, as a part of a band, like a drummer or a guitarist, or someone like that. That's what a hip hop DJ does. He contributes to the track to the track or to the live show. So is my thinking correct? Am I way off? Am I muddled? What do you think about that?
I think the first thing that occurs to me when I hear you say that is when you say hip hop DJ, I feel like even that is something that can be divided down into smaller categories. Like a hip hop DJ is someone who plays the genre of hip hop at a party, or DJs their heart and soul out for a hip hop act.
Okay. That's a good distinction.
What do you think? Do you think that that's fair to say, DJ Wislam?
Yeah, I think to a degree. Like to me, I feel like the producer is somebody who creates a song from scratch. He or she may or may not have, music theory background. They may or may not know how to play instruments. They might just be somebody who, like Puffy, would be the person that would kind of put up the money, and somebody else would be the one that actually is on this board. And
You trying to get us like what's the word when what is cancel? You trying to get us canceled by bringing up Puffy, man? What is that?
No
that
Diddy, no Diddy.
that ain't
No
got nothing.
Diddy, man, no Diddy.
That's different. That's a whole different segment.
It's a whole different segment, man. Gosh.
No, but as far as a producer, I just feel like it's just somebody who, like a real producer to me, makes me think about like Quincy Jones and Dre and
Yeah.
like, who can actually create something that didn't exist before. And as far as a DJ is somebody that can, play music of different genres. That's why somebody like Jazzy Jeff really is all of that together, being a producer, being a DJ who can play, he's limitless with the genres that he is knowledgeable of and can mix together as if it was, hip hop itself. And then of course him being a hip hop DJ, he had the turntablism going on before anybody even knew what to call it. So
Turntablism, that's a good distinction for me between a DJ and a hip hop DJ. You must have some turntablism in your skill set.
Yeah, or at least know about it, even if you can't actually do it, but at least to know, some of the forefathers who came before, and the reason why, the turntable literally is a musical instrument. Like it's not something that you just drop a needle on, but the things you can do with it, and how people have actually used the turntable for body tricks, and to hold the turntable up and you think the needle's gonna skip, but they hold it and flip it all around, and it's crazy.
You know crazy. What another big distinction was back in the day, which a lot more DJs of other genres do, is shouting out, be like what a selector would do. That's where Herc got it from Jamaica, from the selectors, who would be like, put the next song, blah 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 blah. That's for real. So you hear, put your hands up, hey ho, you know what I mean? All that
live performance.
Not even trickled down to the MC. So the DJ, yes, he started it all for real. And the hip hop DJ specifically would do that too. Hip hop would do all the shout out and all that stuff too.
So I think one more thing that differs between producers and DJs that isn't painfully obvious is the skill set. Like if I had to make a metaphor, I would say like a producer makes the bicycles and the DJ rides the bicycles, in the sense that in the booth or like in the studio, a producer gets to really look at every single drum hit and put it all together and make sure it sounds tight as hell. Like Rick Rubin or making the kick for 99 Problems. Like they were all amazed at the one kick sound, whereas the DJ, it's the vibe, it's the energy, it's the hand movements, it's like how your body moves while you're doing it.
Okay, so what are some of your approaches when it comes to creating a set that you're about to have for an event or a party, whatever you're about to do? What are some of your approaches to creating that set and sound for that particular night or day?
My answer is really short because I'm not super good at it, but my approach is to make sure that I have no clashing musical keys and making sure that everything's within 12% of a BPM within one another, so I could actually make the jump instead of having to hard cut. And then also having some elements which can serve as like downtime, like low energy, like dips, so that you can actually have some breathing moments between the hard dancing.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think for me, it really just depends on the event, because there've been so many times that I had been asked to, DJ at some, hip hop event, And then there would be somebody that would just throw out something wild, like to play Led Zeppelin or something. And, a lot of hip hop DJs would be completely stuck and wouldn't know what to do. But for me, that's all part of my background and the era that I grew up in is that
It's so hip hop, man. That's hip hop.
yeah, so like it was always like some kind of, even if it wasn't an event had anything to do with, there would always be another DJ that would hit me up and say, well, hey, I got this place at this country bar, to play at, and I don't have no country music. What am I gonna do? And I'd be like, well, just get, Dolly Parton and, Wayne Newton and all that.
Right.
Like, I'll sing you some stuff. So it was like I always had like multiple genres of music that I already was listening to anyway. So for me, it just depended on what the event was, and then just to cater specifically to that event,
Gotcha.
That's dope.
I had a follow-up question about, both of you guys have mentioned it, about selecting the tracks for a set. At what point do you want the party to like reach its peak? Do you want it to reach midway through the party, the back end? Like you were saying, you need to build in some breather things. Like, do you want to come out the gate hard?
To the
How does that
end.
work?
The whole
Wislam, how do you pace it?
Well, for me, I would usually start off with kind of like not really slow, but kind of like, I guess, mid-tempo music, maybe like from like 88, 91 beats per minute, somewhere around there, and then kind of slowly build it up to kind of like what I call the Planet Rock style of music. Like that's just the easiest way that I can describe it. Like what people consider, to be, booty bass or whatever. With Miami bass and all that.
right.
Like
Luke and all them.
yeah, Luke and all them, you get up to like 120 BPM and all that. And then, my favorite thing always was whenever you'd have people on the dance floor and everybody's sweating and they getting parched, they need something to drink. So then you get them tired, so where they want to go to the bar so they can get liquored up,
Okay.
and
Okay.
slow things down a little bit to give them some time to kind of, get those muscle cramps out their legs.
Okay.
And
Wow.
bartender, made their money. So then it's kind of like a dance to me. Like the bartender and DJ is kind of helping each other. So the bartender would send the patron back, to the dance floor because of what I'm playing.
Mhm.
Like, oh girl, hold my drink. That's my song. And they come out and be dancing or whatever. And then you get them tired again. So then you go back to the bartender. So that's what my favorite thing about it.
My approach is really similar, except it's not informed with industry experience like that. Mine is simply like psychology and physiology, where like we have people's training target heart rate, and then we have some people's like resting heart rate. You want to start at resting and then go all the way to the training and then let them rest and then bring them back up and then let them rest and bring them back up.
You talking about BPM?
And it's kind of like high intensity interval training. And if you do it too long,
crazy.
Good luck taking people to the gym.
Yeah.
That's a perfect analogy, really, because that's our thing, is to wear people out and just make them tired.
Right.
But especially when they're drunk, then they feel like they can go and dance forever. And it's like that physiology will kick in where it's like, nah, you can't be in these 6-inch heels and dance all
Right.
at some point.
Y'all better have some good
I have a question for both
liability
of y'all,
insurance.
actually.
What's up, man?
My question for both of y'all is, because what I notice when I try to, make sets and I'm in the middle of a party, I got the aux, so I'm not DJing though, but I got the aux, so I'm still coming up with sets. I look for these things, the demographic of who's there, the culture that's there, the age group, who's there and everything. And then but then I have my go-tos, which are like always the hits, the songs that are always gonna play on the top 40. Is that like something y'all do too? If ever it gets like very slow and you see that, or y'all never had nights like that either, but if y'all did, like where it's like, okay, what should I do to put on? You just put on one of them top 40 hits that from whatever decade that just runs, with the crowd.
the times
That goes back to kind of like what I was saying about, depending on what the event is. And, you definitely would look at the age group, and you would look at the demographics. You would look at so many different things that you may have something where it's just mostly Hispanic, population that might be at this event, but then
Right.
they might want to just hear P-Funk all night. You just really never know. And there's been times that I have been at concerts when I've seen, Zapp and Roger Troutman, and me and my homeboy was probably the only black dudes there. And it was like everyone else was just a whole bunch of, Mexican, Puerto Rican, or whatever. It might have been a few white patrons there, but
Yeah.
that blew me away because I didn't know, because when we were coming up, it was primarily, the black community that was behind, Zapp and everything. But then you go to an event like that, you would assume that it would have been just nothing but, black concert people there, but that wasn't the case. So
Yeah.
you know,
Flash was getting his first DJ. Quick thing, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna keep quiet. But Flash was getting his first DJ out of the Bronx parties downtown with the punk rock crowd and everything downtown. The Blondies and they were listening and putting them up in there. It's crazy, yeah. And they were going up to Harlem. That's how you get the Beastie Boys and all that. So because they were a punk rock group first.
Confessing time. Here's what I got. I got Justin Bieber and Miranda Lambert on my phone right now. So good luck.
no judgment. That's all.
Go ahead. Hey, I got Elton John. Young kids look at me. Who?
Yeah, Elton John. When I was driving a party bus, John Denver would get the
Metallica on mine. So.
Right. That will makes a great DJ. Kid Capri said that. Shout out to Kid Capri, DJ Pooch. He's from my hood. But he said that in the interview. He's like he could go to a crowd where it's just European people and he could play and he'll rock the crowd with his set and others things that he knows she should play.
Graham,
he just knows everything.
Graham, if I could, I want to move on from this topic, unless you really want. So, because I wanted to ask you, because you touched on it earlier, I might drop out again. Sorry about that. So, Grimlock, I want to ask you, because you mentioned it earlier. You talked about technology. How do you use technology in your craft, and what do humans do better, and what do machines do better?
That's a really deep question. All right. And so how do I use technology in what I do? I'm going to try to abridge it because it's even confusing for me. So I use my laptop, and Ableton Live is on my laptop, and the plugin in Ableton Live that I use is called Bink Looper, B-I-N-K.
What does it do for you?
So what happens is that I can play music, like I'm an instrumentalist, so I can play the guitar, drums, sing, and then it captures what I just did, and then it loops it, and then it like brings it in and out when I want it to. And it's more complicated than a looper pedal because it already knows what you want to do. You don't have to press buttons when you're playing music. It already knows, like, on beat 1, I will do this. On beat 17, I will do this.
Okay.
And so that's fun. But I think more relevant to our topic today of like, what is a computer better at? What is a human better at? And I think that it all comes down to like the happy accident that is vinyl, because there's no guarantee that we came out with perfectly circular flat discs. First, we started off with cylinders, and that would not have worked. So I think the cool thing is that we have the vinyl, and what do humans do better? We can hear and react and engage and we have this feedback loop of listening to what we're doing, and then that informs what we're going to do next. Whereas computers can only do what they've been told. They can't self-editorialize. They can't have matters of taste. And so
you can set them up to do tasks, not menial tasks, but like repetitive tasks, and they can do those better or alleviate that work for you.
Like, for example, like a really practical example is if I had like a sample of someone saying, yeah. If I told the computer I want it to spin up, it wouldn't sound right. It wouldn't sound organic. It would sound linear.
Okay.
And so if I want to have a vinyl with a sample of a guy saying, yeah, and I want it to like stutter, then speed up, all I have to do is think about it, and it'll be perfect when I do it, because it's my muscles and my nerves doing it and hearing it in real time and then responding and reacting and then fixing what I'm doing.
Gotcha. Wislam, how about you? What type of tech, what's the most important tech you use, and what do humans do better, and what do machines do better?
For me, I don't think there'd be anything a machine could do better than humans. It's just, that humans, I just don't think something that humans have, organically, I just don't think machines could ever duplicate
Ever.
the same.
That's fair.
Even with AI, I don't feel it's the same, because even when you hear like Michael Jackson's voice or something, if you really listen, you can tell it's computerized. It's not really him, even though to the average person who doesn't have a trained ear, they would be able to be like, "Oh my God, he has a new song out." Like, no, he doesn't. Like, listen, certain parts is gonna be chopped up, but as far
what type of tech do you use in your gear? What's in your gear?
what's in my gear is I love Logic Pro, Apple Logic Pro X. That's pretty much my recording studio in my laptop. I have a Rev 7 DJ controller, and then I also use Serato, of course. So the technology part of it for me, I think, was really, it took me a little while to get used to being able to use MP3s as if it was vinyl, because when I first heard about it, I didn't believe it was real. I was like, "There's no way that you can DJ with a computer. That's impossible."
You use time code?
Like a homeboy that I was in college with, he had to actually have me come to his house and show me how it worked, because I just didn't believe it, because I came from the record crates, and the sound being actually on the vinyl, not using the control signal in order to copy the music, and where you can play endless songs, and you don't have to have backbreaking record crates and going up and down stairs anymore. And
Did you move your own crates, or did you have somebody help you?
back in the day, I definitely had people help me.
Shout out to the crate boys and girls, man.
Grimlock's got a question.
So does that mean you use time code?
Yeah, it's time code.
What does the controller do?
Go ahead.
I'm a complete novice. Like, I should never touch tech. What does a controller do?
Well, it just makes it possible for you to basically have the two turntables that typically separate, and the DJ mixer. You'd have to put all three together, like Grimlock, like we were saying earlier about how you would have to get each piece of equipment at different period of time, and the controller is really just three in one type of thing, where you have the two turntables and you have the mixer, and it's all in one unit.
Oh, that's the one with the circles on the side and thing.
Yeah, like a CDJ type of setup.
So that's the one with the two circles on the side and the thing. No, that's not a controller. That is a controller. Okay.
Yeah, that's a controller. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just blown away by hearing everything that you two are saying. It's amazing, because I'm a student to the DJ, and I'm an MC, but I'm a student to this DJing thing. So I'm hearing y'all.
So I'm gonna wrap up this segment, our opening, our comment segment, with this final question, and I think I know the answer. But would you consider being a DJ more like jazz musician, the improvisation, or would you consider it more like a technician, an engineer, sound designer? Grimlock?
Okay. I have a strong opinion on this because I like both hip hop and jazz, and I've been a devil's advocate for so many people trying to be malcontents on this issue. I am hardline saying DJs are musicians, inspired virtuosos, full stop. And this is why. So some people will say DJs only use segments from other people's songs, and that's stealing. Well, a jazz person isn't like magically conjuring noise into this universe. They're using a guitar that was invented, built, and is strung by somebody else. So a guitarist is restricted to guitar sounds. A DJ is restricted to DJ sounds, but they are infinitely flexible in the moment because they're not locked into it, because a DJ isn't a robot. And as long as you have a heart and soul behind the sounds that you're producing, and you have the capability of changing in the moment, that is improvisation. And I feel like no one can argue that.
I actually agree with you 100%. I believe DJs are more closely aligned to jazz musicians. I think it's more jazz than it is tech engineering. But like Jex was saying, there seems to be a new crop of DJ/producers who paint by numbers, and it seems to be devoid of a little bit of soul. Yeah. Wislam, how about you? Jazz or technician?
Definitely, that's a hard one for me because I feel like it's both, but I do feel like it's more on the jazz aspect as far as the improvisation and just being able to kind of come up with an idea just to see what sticks with something else. But as far as the technician part of it, I think that's really where a lot of people that start off as DJs ended up becoming producers because you would be mixing songs and you would be turning knobs and just trying to get your sound right, which is basically what an engineer would be doing. So you kind of like, two or three roles in one, which a lot of people I don't think were realizing that. And that's why a lot of us that were from the school of growing up with idolizing Flash and Jazzy Jeff and all these people, they were literally, both to me. And that's why to this day, Jazzy Jeff is one of the coldest to ever do it. Like
he's amazing.
Productions are flawless, just his mixing abilities, the way the man just cuts and scratches is just so clean and crisp.
Wow.
Real quick.
I never realized that as an MC for 31 years on this earth and loving hip hop since 4 or 5 years old. Like, I never realized that. You just let me understand, like, okay, that producers in hip hop really do come from them being DJs. They were DJs first, and they were the ones. Like, that's incredible to me.
If they're any good, they were a DJ first.
Wow.
But Wislam, real quick, when you're talking about Jazzy Jeff, I don't know if you were here earlier when we talked about it, but isn't he credited with coming up with the Transformer scratch?
As far as on vinyl, he's the first to do it. But as far as being the first to do it in general, nah, he wasn't the first one.
Okay.
There were definitely other DJs that did it before him, like DJ Spinbad.
Okay.
And there's other cats like that influenced him, to transform. But he is, as far as I know, and I could be totally wrong, but I never heard anybody before 1986 to transform on a song like ever.
And could tell me? I'll just skip my definition. Just give me the definition of a transform scratch as opposed to the baby scratch or the things like that. What is a transformer scratch?
Yeah, the Transformer scratch really became popular just from obviously, the Transformers cartoon that came out in the early 80s. And whenever a DJ would, take any kind of sound, if it was, a baby crying or whatever it was, and you would just go, and it would just sound literally like the way the Transformers did in the cartoon. That's where that came from.
Okay, makes sense now. Got you. All right.
Oh my God!
All right.
So that's what, is that a like, what's the word? Is like that from Oh My God from Slick Rick's?
No, that's a different type of scratch.
So can you give an example from a song that?
I mean,
because I'm gonna look it up and just.
If you look at the 1980s Transformer cartoon, that sound effect that they use when they transform, anything that sounds like that's what I'm underering.
Yeah, but what song would you recommend, DJ Wislam?
Go listen to anything Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah. Just anything that Jazzy Jeff did.
Man, okay.
That from the, what was it, Rock the House album, that first album that they had dropped. It was, can't think of the song off the top of my head, but he was like, Jeff, make the record transform, and he'd be like, and
oh wow,
make it sound like a bird, and that blew my mind. I was like, this man, I don't know how he's doing this, but he's making a record sound like an animal. How do you do that? And then of course that made me just like become possessed with it. I was like, I got to figure out how he did that. And that's what did it.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
All right, so
that's so amazing.
We're gonna do closing thoughts.
Wow.
You should know. We're gonna wrap up this first one. I know I'm gonna respect you guys' time. I'm gonna just cover quickly some thoughts about DJ competitions, and then we're gonna get out of here. Cool?
That'll work.
All right. So, Jess, do you still have up the information on Theodore?
Yes, I'll bring that up right now.
All right. If you would give us a quick bio on Grandmaster Theodore Wiz? Am I saying it right?
Grand Wizard Theodore.
Grand Wizard Theodore, my bad.
One of the, they will put him on the Mount Rushmore. of hip hop, the beginnings. Theodore Livingston, born March 5th, 1963, better known as Grand Wizard Theodore, that's with two Z's,
Okay.
is an American musician and DJ. He is widely credited as the inventor of the scratching
Yes, he is.
technique. In addition to scratching, he gained credibility for his mastery of needle drops and other techniques, which he invented or perfected.
Gotcha.
And he is still alive to this day doing this thing.
Yeah, I met him.
What?
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope.
That to me was crazy. Like to actually meet one of the people you wanted to be like.
Wow.
Like, you know, if you player and you met John Elway or
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Where did you meet him at? What was the circumstances?
it was a club event that one of my homeboys that was DJing at.
Okay.
He was like kind of opening up for him. And he was like, man, Grand Wizard Theodore is going to be there. You should come on down. And I was like, who? I just wanted to make sure I understood what he said.
Yeah.
Because he was like, Grand Wizard Theodore going to be there. I'm like, oh, I'm there. So
Wow.
but I didn't get a chance like an autograph or nothing. But that's going to be in my memory bank for the rest of my life.
Is his game still tight?
Well, he didn't really like do a whole lot because the event was more like he was just mixing songs, so it wasn't so much like doing all types of tricks, and what he's known for doing. So that was kind of disappointing. I'm just thankful that I just met him in general though.
You met a legend. You always got that feather in your cap. Grimlock, if you would help us out, you have a you should know person also.
Dee Roper, internationally known as DJ Spinderella, is a Grammy Award-winning DJ, producer, rapper, writer, and world-class mother. Spinderella is one of the original pioneers of hip-hop music, beginning her career as a member of the iconic rap group Salt-N-Pepa, selling over 15 million albums and singles worldwide. Over 2 decades after groundbreaking entrance into hip-hop, the Brooklyn native still sets the standard for turntablist all over the world and is still a force to be reckoned with in the music.
Amen. She got game. Right. The weird thing about
RP to the original Spinderella.
That's what I was just about to say. The real controversy is that she's the second Spinderella of Salt-N-Pepa.
Yeah.
The original, she was a flake and they had to boot her. And then they got D to do it. And she got game and she's a part of the iconic lineup. And then Salt-N-Pepa like dissed her, like separate, like cut her out, like isolated her. And so now there's a whole, they got a beef now between them. So it's a shame. But Spinderella, she got game. She got game. You got any thoughts on her, Wislam?
Yeah, I definitely, love Spinderella, both of them. And it's really crazy how growing up idolizing, all these people and then to see them in lawsuits with each other and saying like, well, you're not the real Spinderella or you're not the real Roxanne. And, it's just crazy to see that because like, most people do know the second Spinderella from majority of Salt-N-Pepa's, career. But those of us who, like 40 and up or so, we remember the original one that was on the Hot, Cool, and Vicious, album and everything. So we remember her, but she wasn't all that active as far as when the music was coming out. Once they blew up is when we knew more of the second one. So,
and I think, quite honestly,
you know how serious of a topic this is. My mother taught me this when I was 5.
Wow.
Then like she played Salt-N-Pepa. No, the original Spinderella, she died. I'm like, who's Spinderella? I'm 5. Bro, that's real. That's serious.
It really is. I mean,
because they did it with Aunt Viv. Remember, they did it with Aunt Viv.
They did. They on your TV show. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. So last thing we're gonna do.
Man.
Sorry.
They really did. I'm dirty.
All right. So we got just a couple more things to do real quick. Normally, Jackson, me, and the other host, we give out gems for people listening to the podcast. But I'm going to flip it this time. I'm going to ask the guest, hey, would you hit us with some knowledge, drop some gems on us, give us some pro tips or a pro tip that would help out a DJ who's just getting started?
I'll start, keep it sweet and simple. So touching back on what I said about how DJ is similar to jazz, when somebody hears their first jazz, oftentimes their reaction is, wow, that was complex. I don't know how to unpack that, or I don't know where to start. When DJing was starting, somebody scratching a record was a new sound, and it was kind of like brain scrambling at the time, and it kind of like warmed up to the culture. And so jazz heads always trying to make new weird sounds. DJs always trying to make new weird sounds. And if you want to make new, funky, weird, atypical sounds, you're not doing the wrong thing. You just have to do it for a couple more years before people catch on to what you're doing.
Right.
And that's it.
Got you. That's a really good. Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns and let the world catch up. There you go. I like that. Wislam, you got a gem for us.
Yeah, I definitely would piggyback off of what Grimlock said, because, if you want to call yourself a DJ, you need to know who your forefathers were, and who came before you, and who, all the jazz greats who really influenced everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you need to know why Miles Davis ended up, being so inspirational to Rakim.
Yeah.
And it's like, one and the same type of thing. So like being, open-minded to different genres of music, and just being a person who appreciates music in general, that's gonna make your DJ legacy, I think, so much better, because you would be able to not only be good at the craft itself, but you'll be able to drop knowledge and say, well, this individual influenced me, who's, maybe Jimi Hendrix had, not necessarily anything to do with hip hop, but because of his creativity, made me want to try to emulate weird sounds on the turntable the way he did on a guitar, and things like that. So
Definitely. Wow. Are we giving about who you should listen to this week, or what you should?
And you got a gem for us, Jax? You got something for us? Go ahead.
I got a few. I just got a few.
Okay.
2 albums and a couple of DJs.
Okay.
Because like DJ Wislam said, the forefathers, you know what I mean? And even the people after the forefathers, Grandmaster J, rest in peace, DJ Red Alert, Kid Capri, Big Cat, Funk Flex. These are people who were holding down the tunnel. And that's a crazy ass club. DJ Screw, you know what I mean? Uncle Luke, you know what I mean? So I want to just name them. And then album wise, look out for my new music that's coming out very soon. I got 2 a.m. in Aurora out on YouTube right now by Jax the Joker. Definitely look out. And there's more coming out soon too.
Gotcha.
Also, Big Cap and Funkmaster Flex, the Tunnel album. We talking to Kid Capri was really one of the first DJs to have an album and actually go platinum with it and everything. But this was a big one for Def Jam, collabing with these 2 DJs who really held down the tunnel and bringing different rappers together. We got great songs that came out of it. One song is in my top, If I Got Locked Up by Eminem and Dre. So Rock the Tunnel. So that's a big one. DJ album I would give a gem to. You know?
Nice.
Yeah, that's dope.
Before we go to our very last topic of today, I do want to give each of you the opportunity to shout out your socials, your websites, promote, just like Jax did, any type of projects you guys have going on right now. Wislam, you want to start, let people know where they can find you, follow you?
Oh yeah, so I'll be on pretty much all social media with TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. Like on Instagram, you can look me up just under DJ Wislam. So it'd be DJ WHIZLAM, like Mike. And then also pretty much the same on a lot of other social media. I don't really do Twitter that much anymore. But like as far as TikTok, I don't know if the ban is really going to happen next month or not. But
yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, until then, I'm it's OG DJ Wislam on TikTok. So,
Gotcha.
And then as far as like music goes, I have some stuff that I put out myself just to show my, musicality, that you just put up DJ Wislam on YouTube and, my stuff will come up.
Gotcha.
And then as far as like artists goes, there's my homeboy, Doc Nasty. Shout out to Compton, California. Me and him, have linked up and put some stuff out, about a year or so ago. So we're, working on new stuff too as well. So,
and I'll make sure to put the links to all of this in the podcast notes. Grimlock, where can people find you?
People can find me at soundcloud.com/Litton, Litton. That's where I put all my works in progress in case you want to be like, really up to date with my stuff.
Gotcha. All right. So this is the last topic that I would like to discuss with you two, especially while I have you both here. It's about DJ competitions and what they're designed to do and how someone can actually excel at a DJ competition. So, all right. The main questions I have when discussing DJ competitions, they're designed to show your skill as a selector, like Jack says, a beat selector, beat mixer. And this is done by combining a minimum of 3 different music styles into a single set. And these are pretty much universal rules, guidelines for any DJ competition you get into. You're going to need to do a minimum of 3 different styles of music into a single set. And there's 5 areas that you're being judged on: originality, technical skill, track selection, personality, and crowd response. So I'm going to start with just this first topic right here: 3 different styles of music into a single set. If you had to choose real quick, I'm putting you on the spot, what 3 types of music styles would you put in there? What you go with? Just off the top of your head.
I would go with like something high energy, like Curtis Mayfield. And then I would go something like, I don't know, I don't think it's an entirely different style, but my mind went to like Watermelon Man by Herbie Hancock. I'm in that groove right now.
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe some like minimalistic intellectual dance music or something like that.
Yeah. Grim's going to have us at the gym working out. I'm telling y'all, man, this is going to be like a yoga class or something like that. Wislam, how about you? What 3 different styles would you go with?
I would definitely do something just off the wall, like start off with the Star Wars Death March, just to throw something crazy out there, and then probably from there to go into the breakbeat era, just to get people really hyped and wanting to get involved, breakdancing and everything in the crowd, and probably from that would go to like 2 Live Crew or some shit. Just it's just something out the blue.
That's so different of a difference of energy from both of y'all.
Yeah. All right. So then next up, the 5 different areas that you're going to be judged on is the first area is going to be originality. Having an original approach to your set is essential. Finding interesting transitions and types of songs or personal remixes are the keys to the original set. So my question for you guys is transitions, right? Is there a standard way that you like to do them, or do you just freestyle in the moment? And I'm going to start with you, Wislam. How about you? How do you handle your transition?
It just kind of really depends. I do pretty much freestyle it. So sometimes it'll be one song that is playing, and then I'll just hit the stop button when the song just go real slow, and then go into something else. Other times I may use like sound effect to make the previous song echo out, but you want to make sure you don't have no dead space at all, that you just be able to keep, that energy going no matter what song or style that you're going from, because nothing worse than having like a dead dance floor. That's just that's oh no.
So simple answer, echo out, like DJ Wislam said, because like that's classic. But I think it's a bit of a more difficult conversation when saying competition wise, because when you get into competitions, you get into what's called hardware requirements, and then people have either like belt drive or direct drive platters. People have either like cue systems or no cue systems, monitor systems, no monitor systems. Like the video, just referencing the video real quick, the video was of some guy mixing 45s with 45 adapters, and so that's going to be completely different. And he was also using no headphones, so he was just leading into that beat 1 with the kick, and then he just let it go, because that's just like the milieu of the time where he started learning. And so really it depends on what hardware you're allowed to use, on what transitions you're going to choose.
And then Jax, I'm assuming you just hit next button on your aux system, right?
I mean, yeah, when I'm on the aux, yeah, but I do a little turn down the volume and then go back with it. Spotify helps with the transition with a couple seconds. No, but if I really was on the turntable, I'm an amateur at it with the quick mix theory. I like doing that, but I mean, with the transition, it's more into what I would go into set wise. If it was a demographic of people in their 30s and 40s, I'd play a lot of 90s and 2000 hits, but it would have to go with the feeling of it. So if it was a Jeezy song, I might transition slowly maybe into a Jay-Z, because it's still the same type of feeling and energy. So I go off energy and vibes and how those hits or those songs, and sometimes I even bring out some shit you never heard of hip hop wise, because I like DJing hip hop wise. That's why I'm DJ Spitter, because Spitter is me as a rapper, but DJ Spitter is the hip hop DJ. I want to get so good at it though.
Got you.
I want to get better at it.
Next thing you're going to be judged on is your technical skills. Apart from the basics of being able to beat match and mix seamlessly, you also need a good understanding of the gear, how to maximize its use. The type of tracks you mix also showcases your technical skills. It's less impressive to mix one dance track to another than it is mixing hip hop into rock. So when it comes to technical skills, I'm going to reverse it a little bit. When you are watching a DJ, what technical skills jump out to you, Grimlock? You're like, oh, that guy. How do you recognize someone's got technical skills? What do they need to do?
One thing that I saw in the video that you sent me was this guy was using 2 carbon copy 45s, and they had a little position marker on the next to the paper label on each of them, and they were offset by almost 90 degrees. And so he was playing them, they were offset by a quarter beat. And so instead of having a beat repeat button like people enjoy today, what he was doing is he was fading right to get that beat 1, and then fading left to get the beat 1 a second time. So he was just doubling up on it. And so he was affecting a new effect with old procedure. And so that's cool. But then another thing that I like personally, and that's in my taste, is when somebody gets the needle really close to the record and then just touches it down for the sound they want. And magically they just nail it every time.
Got you. Wislam, how do you know someone's got technical skills? When you're watching a DJ, how do you say, oh, that guy's got game?
Well, definitely when it would come to beat juggling and just being able to take, two copies of the same song and creating a whole new rhythm out of it. And if it could be like a hip hop song, but the DJ is manipulating both records to where suddenly it has a dance hall vibe to it. And it's not even a dance hall song. Like when I would see, certain DJs do that, I'm just like, how did he do that? Like I need to figure out how he did that so I could try to, figure it out. And those kind of things really blew me away. Just seeing how far, turntablism itself has gone to be able to do those kind of things, to take a rock song and do your skills with it and turn it into jazz somehow, or, disco or whatever. Like that still is mind blowing to me after all these years of seeing it.
Yeah. Beat juggling is amazing to watch.
Can I give an MC perspective on that question?
Go ahead.
I would definitely say 2 things. One, for me as like a spectator, was seeing like the extra stuff that the DJs do, like DJ Mathematics at a Wu-Tang concert in 2011. I seen scratch he took his shoe off and then started scratching with his shoe. So that was crazy. It's like, that's like, okay, you need some skill for that. For real.
Yeah.
But I definitely as a MC working with a DJ, I look for somebody who that I think somebody has skill, like DJ Tech for the Locks. The Locks DJ. If you watch the verses between the Locks and Dipset, DJ Tech was on with everything. Of course, they DJ for years and perform with each other for years, but you could see that he knew what songs to go into, including the mixtape songs when Jada did the whole "Who Shot You" verse, mixtape verse. The DJ knew what to do. So as an MC, I look for that in the DJ. I'm looking for a DJ now. DJ Y knows how to do that with me since we got cool with each other. We from the same area.
It seemed like you would need to have.
I look for that type of thing.
It seemed like that would be a reflection of the relationship between the DJ and the MC for sure. Sure.
Yes, and especially like what the MC listens to, especially if they have a song set and the DJ knows that song set, he knows exactly, okay, this is going to turn up the party. He knows that this is going to turn up the person who's performing it as well.
Well, that's a good transition
for it. So
that's a good transition to the next thing that a DJ is judged on: track selection. A set is only as good as the track selection for it. You need to pick tracks that showcase your technical skill and personality, but also affect the crowd. So again, I'm going to switch this question up a little bit. Wislam, when you're monitoring your crowd, right? How do you know when you're losing them? I'll just stick with that. How do you know when, like, okay, they're starting to slip?
Yeah, the biggest most obvious thing that I've seen is when you see everybody, with their hands up and everybody's, smiling and dancing and having a good time. And then all of a sudden, you put on something that nobody's feeling and you start to see people part like the Red Sea. Worst thing. But then you'd be like trying to throw something on real quick to get them back. Cause, it's easy to get people on the dance floor, but it's the real test is keeping them
there. Yeah.
Wow.
If I had to answer, it would be I'm not good enough to, just instinctually know what the best song is to play in a certain moment to like redeem myself. So what I rely on is kind of like monkey see, monkey do. Like if people see me and I'm having the best time and I'm sweating it out, like what's your problem? Why are you not able to rock it right now?
Got you. Okay. All right. It always, to me, it seems like it would be a constant fear that this next track I'm about to play might lose the crowd. I don't know. I've never DJ'd. I've never DJ'd a party or anything like that. They take the remote away from me at holiday parties when I'm just trying to watch, I'm trying to queue up YouTube stuff. So they're like, yeah, no, not you, man. You can't do it. Next up.
You know what's crazy? DJs, and this is with all parts of hip hop, but I feel people got too sensitive. There's some DJs out there that I don't think should be DJing.
But we ain't gonna say no names, man. You trying to get us canceled too.
So when we're not gonna say names because I don't know the name. I just remember one time I went to Temple. This is when it was at the church. This was a club downtown. And downtown, he was playing something, but there were a lot of younger kids there. But he was playing a lot of like old school 70s shit, and it didn't make any sense to go with the whole crowd. And I was like, yo, I was coming in like, yo, somebody should take your shit. That I think should be brought back into the whole demographic, actually taking criticism of what you're doing. Because he's getting paid for it, but he's playing some bourgeois 70s shit around 18, 19-year-olds. It's crazy.
Get my money back.
YMCA, like, come on.
That's the jam, man. Don't front. You know you like YMCA. All right, personality.
For no 18-year-olds. No.
Personality, man. Nobody wants a DJ to simply stare at the decks the whole time. A champion DJ needs to have personality. So the authentic, real energy you feel when you're playing your set, as opposed to force, fake it, and try to fake out the crowd. You need to interact with the crowd and keep them in the music. So, Grimlock, question for you is, what types of things are in your toolbox to engage with the crowd? To like you, not just the music you play, but like you as I'm the DJ and how do you interact with the crowd?
So I'm coming at it from the perspective of being a sound guy first. And so just contrasted with the stereotypical hip hop DJ of then putting the microphone like this and then just sounding over music and you can't hear what they're saying. And that's kind of like what you expect. I think the thing that sets me apart is the fact that I know how to hold a microphone and operate a microphone. So when I'm talking, while this music is going, you have a real possibility of not noticing. And so it's kind of like subliminal in a way. And it's not necessarily the things you say or how you say it. It's how you show up and how you make your eye contact, how your poise, how you stand. And some people revert back to a stereotypical radio voice, like, I'm glorious. But I really don't like that. It's just creating an original voice and an original presence, I think, is something that'll set you apart. You don't really need to be like the second coming of Christ.
Yeah, true. What's in your bag? How do you interact with the crowd?
Well, definitely, keep my eyes on the crowd because, there's definitely DJs I've seen that would just be staring at the decks the whole time and the whole dance floor could be completely, empty. And then, you're not looking up at all or, you're not saying where my lady's at or, nothing. Like I'm not the type of DJ that would constantly be on the mic, because even though as a DJ, Flex is cool, but he talks too damn much.
Yeah.
And I that
I agree.
like every 1.2 seconds he's like, come on, where's the Bronx at? Where's Brooklyn at? I'm like, dude, shut up. Let the song play. Like that so like for me, I would just say things when it's necessary. Just be like, you throw on Cash Money Records, with Juvenile and all them, and all the women gonna come out and be trying to have the twerk contest. And
Yep.
I know can't nobody twerk out there. I'm gonna switch to something else. And they be like, no, and then they just don't want to go out and have things like that. I like to.
That's dope. That's dope. Like reverse teasing them like that. Like I'm gonna take it. I know y'all want it, but I'm gonna take it away from. Last thing that a DJ will get judged on is crowd response. It's hard work getting everything right during your set, but it's also important that you have fun because the crowd will pick up on that. If you're having fun, you're covering all the bases during your set, you stand a really good chance of winning a DJ competition. So similar to how do you interact with the crowd, how do you know when you're winning the crowd? Like what cues, what do you see out there that you're like, okay, I got him, right? You already told me a little bit about how, I lost him. I can see, like part like, how do you know, I got him hooked. Wislam, how do you know when you got him?
Well, definitely when you hear, the cheering going on, you hear like a lot of the happening, and it's just like you can hear that energy coming back to you in full force. It's not just maybe 10 or 20 people, but if it's like 2,000 people all cheering and whistling and all that, that's to me when you really know that you truly got them. And even if you came in second place or you didn't necessarily win, but you left a memory in their minds, and that they're going to remember
Right.
you for quite some time because of how you made them feel in that competition.
Right. Grimlock.
A lot of times for me, it's about like the non-verbals. Like when I'm at a show and I'm not sure that everything's going really well, I kind of have like this on edge feeling, like I'm ready for the next mess up that the DJ is going to make. I'm just like lying in wait for the next thing that I can criticize. But then there's moments where like people transcend, like they cut the mustard in every way. And there's like this relaxation that washes over me when I'm watching a show like that, in that I know that like it's taken care of. I know that the beat's going to be there. It's not going to skip or anything like that. And with that relaxation, I can actually like vibe. And so whenever I'm working and I see people in that same headspace of like relaxed and able to explore the space and like not cringy, cagey, but like, hey, what's going on? That's when I know that people are having a good time.
Nice. So last question, just have either of you ever competed in a contest?
Not once.
So like I watched.
I'll say that again.
I'm sorry. Have you ever competed in a DJ competition?
Oh yeah, I have.
You have. How did it go?
Well, there's, you win some, you lose some, but I definitely enjoyed the experience, just being, deeply immersed in the culture that they used to have. I don't know if they still do it now, but with Eclipse 88.5 FM up in Boulder, that they would have King of Colorado DJ battle online, and had won the first one. I had lost the second one.
That's dope.
Yeah, there also had been, battles I had been in, of course, the early 90s with Stormy Productions and DJ Jam X, which a lot of people knew, from being out here and everything. That's how I met him, was being in the DJ battle, and me and him, have been cool with each other probably well over 30 years now. And so it definitely had been fun, being a part of that and just getting that firsthand experience of what it's like to be able to have the crowd interaction, to be able to have the technical skills, and to be able to, just show like, this is me. This is what I have to bring to the table, literally the turntables. And, just to see people's reaction that didn't even know who I was. And some people who were there back in like 92, 93, they still remember me from even back then because of what I did.
Nice. I mean, like so again, I've never DJ'd. I've never been in DJ competition. I have been in breakdancing competition. So I've been in ciphers, you know, and I think there's a universal energy to ciphers of any genre. You feel so alive in that moment, you know, and it's really hard to recreate it. Even I would imagine, well, I would equate it to like dancing in a battle versus dancing for just a performance, for an occasion. You know, it's a totally different energy. So I'd imagine the energy that you experience in a competition is totally different than when you're doing a party or when you're just in the studio making a track, you know. But if I ever I'll watch a lot of DJ competitions online. I watch them all the time and I love to go to one and all that. But I think if I ever did get a chance to DJ, I would actually try to be Jam Master Jay. I think he's the one that I would. I've never seen a DJ. Well, maybe I'm sure I have. Jam Master Jay to me is the epitome of what a hip hop DJ should be. How he controlled his two MCs, he controlled the crowd, he controlled the record, the production of the music. He was the complete backbone of that group. And to me, Jam Master Jay is RIP. He's the epitome of a hip hop.
Yeah.
So
RIP.
listen, we gotta get out of here. I appreciate both of y'all. Thank you so much for getting down, for your time, for your talent. It means a whole lot to me for you guys to contribute to this podcast adventure that I'm on right now. It means the world to me. So thank you guys so much for getting down. And Jex, I appreciate you too. Right? I think that's all we got, y'all. We're gonna get out of here. That's a wrap, y'all. Peace.
Thank you.